You need to watch this if you struggle with itching. Welcome to Menvero, where we unravel the mysteries behind the sensations you experience every day. We're so glad you're here. Have you ever found yourself suddenly distracted by an annoying, tickling sensation on your skin? It's a feeling we all know far too well, the undeniable urge to scratch. This sensation, known simply as an itch, is one of the most common and universal human experiences. In fact, the average person goes through dozens of individual itches every single day. It can strike anywhere, at any time, sometimes with a clear cause and other times seemingly out of nowhere. It's a sensation so powerful that it can break our concentration, wake us from a deep sleep, and command our immediate attention. It's a fundamental part of being human, a minor annoyance that connects us all in a shared, slightly irritating experience. The triggers for this familiar sensation are incredibly varied and can range from the obvious to the surprisingly subtle. You might feel an itch because of a wool sweater brushing against your arm, or perhaps your skin is just a little too dry. It can be a sign of an allergic reaction to a new laundry detergent, or a response to certain underlying medical conditions. Interestingly, itching can also be psychological. Just reading or talking about itching, or even seeing someone else scratch, can be enough to make your own skin start to crawl. The power of suggestion is remarkably strong when it comes to this particular bodily signal, showing just how deeply connected our minds and bodies truly are. One of the most classic examples of an itch comes from a tiny, unwelcome visitor, the mosquito. When a mosquito lands on your skin for a meal, it does more than just draw blood. To prevent the blood from clotting while it feeds, the insect injects its saliva, which contains a special anticoagulant compound. Our immune system immediately recognizes this foreign substance as a threat, even though it's a mild one. In response, our body launches a defense mechanism, initiating a localized allergic reaction right at the site of the bite. This defensive cascade is what ultimately produces that maddening, persistent itch that can last for days. The key player in this immune response is a chemical called histamine. When your body detects the mosquito's saliva, specialized cells in the area release histamine into the surrounding tissues. This powerful chemical messenger works quickly to protect you. It causes the tiny blood vessels or capillaries in the area to widen and swell. This process increases blood flow, which helps rush more immune cells to the scene to fight off the foreign invader. While this is a helpful defensive strategy, histamine has another, more irritating effect. It directly stimulates the nerve endings in your skin that are responsible for sending itch signals straight to your brain. So, how exactly does that chemical signal from histamine transform into the distinct sensation of an itch? The complete journey from skin to brain is still an area of active scientific investigation, but groundbreaking research has started to reveal the intricate pathways involved. For a long time, scientists believed that itching was just a low-level form of pain, transmitted along the same nerve fibers. However, more recent studies have shown that itching has its very own dedicated communication system. This discovery has been crucial in helping us understand why an itch feels so different from pain, and why our response to it, scratching, is so specific and instinctual. Much of what we now know about this process comes from carefully conducted studies on mice. Scientists found that a very specific group of nerves, which are a subclass of the nerves associated with pain, are responsible for detecting and transmitting itch signals. These specialized nerve cells produce a unique signaling molecule, a neuropeptide known by the name natriuretic polypeptide B, or NPPB for short. When an irritant like histamine is released in the skin, it activates these specific nerve endings, causing them to release NPPB. This molecule is the first critical messenger in a long chain of communication that will eventually alert our brain to the problem. Once the NPPB molecule is released by the nerves in the skin, it doesn't travel all the way to the brain on its own. Instead, it acts like a key that unlocks the next step of the journey. The molecule binds to specific receptors located on neurons in the spinal cord. This binding action triggers a new electrical signal, effectively passing the itch message along to the next courier in the relay system. This signal then zips up the spinal cord, a superhighway of information connecting the body to the brain. The message travels through complex neural networks until it finally reaches its destination in the brain for processing. When the signal arrives in the brain, it is interpreted and consciously perceived as the sensation we call an itch. This is the moment you become aware of that irritating feeling and the overwhelming urge to do something about it. The brain's interpretation is what separates an itch from other sensations like pain, touch, or temperature. It recognizes the signal as a specific type of threat or annoyance located on the surface of the body, which in turn triggers an almost automatic motor response. That response, of course, is the deeply satisfying and sometimes frantic act of scratching. The relief that comes from scratching an itch can feel almost magical, but there's a fascinating neurological reason behind it. When you scratch the affected area, you are essentially creating a new, different sensation, a mild form of pain. The physical act of dragging your fingernails across your skin activates a separate set of pain-sensing nerve pathways. These pain signals also travel up the spinal cord to the brain, but they effectively shout louder than the itch signals. This low-level pain signal essentially overrides or masks the original itch signal, providing a temporary distraction for your brain and a moment of welcome relief from the maddening sensation. The leading evolutionary theory behind why we itch in the first place is that it serves as a crucial defense mechanism. Think about the common causes of itching: biting insects, thorny plants, or tiny parasites. The irritating sensation draws our immediate attention to a specific spot on our body, alerting us to a potential external threat. The automatic scratching reflex that follows is our body's first line of defense. By scratching, we can physically dislodge a pesky insect, remove a splinter, or scrape away a toxic plant substance before it can cause more significant harm. This may also explain why we don't feel itches deep inside our bodies, like in our heart or intestines, as these organs aren't exposed to such external threats. This protective system is a remarkable example of how our bodies have evolved to interact with the world around us. For our early ancestors, the ability to quickly detect and remove a venomous spider or a disease-carrying tick could have been the difference between life and death. The itch-scratch cycle acted as a primitive but highly effective alarm system. It ensured that potential dangers on the skin's surface were dealt with swiftly and instinctively, without requiring conscious thought or complex decision-making. That annoying mosquito bite itch is a modern echo of a survival mechanism that has been protecting our species for thousands of years. Of course, the system isn't perfect. While scratching provides immediate relief, it can sometimes make the problem worse. Aggressive scratching can damage the skin, breaking its protective barrier and potentially leading to infection. It can also cause even more histamine to be released in the area, creating a vicious cycle of itching and scratching that is hard to break. This is why, despite the immense satisfaction it brings, we are often told not to scratch. The temporary relief it provides can come at the cost of prolonged irritation and potential skin damage if we're not careful. While a typical itch is a temporary annoyance, for some people, the system can go seriously haywire, leading to chronic and debilitating conditions. These malfunctions in the itching pathways can cause sensations that are constant, severe, and have no apparent external cause. One extreme example is a psychological condition known as delusory parasitosis. Individuals with this disorder have a powerful, unshakable belief that they are infested with bugs or parasites crawling on or under their skin. This delusion triggers incessant frantic scratching as they desperately try to remove the non-existent creatures, often causing severe self-inflicted skin damage. Another fascinating and tragic example of a malfunctioning itch system is known as phantom itch. This condition can occur in individuals who have had a limb amputated. Due to severe damage to the nervous system, the brain can get its signals crossed. It may generate a powerful itching sensation that feels like it's coming from the missing limb. The person can feel an intense itch on a hand or foot that is no longer there, leaving them with a maddening urge that is physically impossible to scratch. This highlights the profound role the brain plays in creating our perception of bodily sensations. Thankfully, medical science is making progress in understanding and treating these extreme itching anomalies. For phantom itching, doctors have developed a clever technique called mirror therapy. In this treatment, the patient places a mirror in a way that it reflects their remaining limb, creating the visual illusion that the amputated limb is still there. By scratching the healthy limb while watching its reflection, the patient can effectively trick their brain. The visual feedback convinces the brain that the phantom itch has been satisfied, providing remarkable and much-needed relief from the tormenting sensation without any medication. As research continues, scientists are working hard to unravel the remaining mysteries of the itch. Dante once imagined a special section of hell for alchemists, where they were punished with a relentless, eternal itch that could never be scratched. For those who suffer from chronic conditions, this can feel like a daily reality. Researchers are now focused on identifying the specific genes involved in the itch pathway and developing targeted treatments that can block these signals in extreme cases. The humble itch, though common, is a complex puzzle, and every new discovery brings us closer to providing lasting relief for everyone.